What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Thunder Sports Pod. Week 4 picks. We'll dive into them. It's JT and
The stash, baby. We always here for you guys.
week 1, or the first game, excuse me, of the week 4, we've got Detroit and Green Bay. What's your thoughts on this game?
Detroit and Green Bay, I think, is going to be a really good game. I think the cornerback situation for Detroit's not great. I think they're suffering kind of bad. Same for the Bucks, but it's at Green Bay. I'm going to take the Packers in this one. I think they take the lead in the division. I'm not saying they keep it for the season, but I do think they take the lead with this divisional game. But I think another reason why Detroit loses here is just because it's Green Bay. It's Lambeau Field. I think that's what's going to be the one that causes them. So I'm going to take Green Bay on this one, JT.
Okay, good pick. I'm actually going to be taking the Detroit Lions in this game. I think it's a very close one. I think it could be like a 3-point game. I think Jared Goff has a very solid game overall. I'm going to take the Lions by 3, though.
By three, okay. I like the pick. I think Jordan Love's just playing at a really high level, especially for his
Mhm.
first time starting. So it's just impressing me, man. I mean, just beyond the hype that I love to throw his way because of like the tradition in Green Bay as the QB. I just think he's playing very well. So
Yeah, he's been playing really good recently, so we'll see if he can keep it up. But I mean, Dan Campbell and Detroit Lions, I mean, they've been rolling. They've been looking
yeah,
both teams looking solid at the top of the division so far. So next week, let's see. Next on the schedule, we got Atlanta at the Jags. So what do you think about that game?
this game is actually kind of really hard for me because if you asked me this about this game at the beginning of the season, before the season, I would have taken Jacksonville, no doubt.
Mhm.
But now, Jacksonville's not even really impressing me. That division's up for grabs for anyone in there. I don't think anybody has a chance to win that division right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Atlanta on this one. I know that
Ooh.
might sound a little crazy, but I think they have a sneaky defense.
Hmm.
I think it'll be a close game. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout by any means, but I think it's a close game, and I think Atlanta takes the upset.
I could see that. That's a good upset pick, but I think this is the game that the Jacksonville Jaguars kind of get back on track. Trevor Lawrence starts to find Calvin Ridley a little bit more after the last 2 weeks not really clicking. I think the defense, they've not been up to par recently the last couple of weeks. I think they have a big game today. Um, and I don't know. I've got the Jags winning by 7. I think they'll barely edge them out. I think Bijan could have a big game. But I've got the Jags in this one.
I like that. Next game of the week, I think this is gonna be one of the biggest games of this week.
Ooh.
Miami at Buffalo.
Ooh. Man, that's a good game. That could be the game of the week. I think I'm gonna take Buffalo in this one just for the fact that it's at home, and if it's in Buffalo, you got Bills Mafia, so you always got a chance in Buffalo. I think Josh Allen has a really good game, but the main reason I think the Bills will win this one, their defense plays the best they have all year against Tyreek Hill. Jalen Waddle might be back this week though, so that's a big key for them. The running game had 8 touchdowns last week between the running backs. They're gonna have to control the running game in the trenches. So
I think that
I
was
think
just more Denver's defense than
I
anything.
mean that is true. I mean the Bills put on a clinic against the Commanders last week, so I think this one will be a close game, but I'm gonna take the Bills in this one barely. I think they split the season series though.
Okay. I'm actually going to take Miami.
That we've been different on all of our takes so far, so
I'm taking Miami. They looked incredible.
they
Now,
did.
here's my only issue with taking Miami is I don't think they've looked that great against good defenses.
Mm.
That's a big thing. And Buffalo's defense looked really good. But did the Buffalo defense look that good because of the fact they're that good? Or does Buffalo's defense look that good because they've played the Raiders and the Commanders the last 2 weeks?
That is true. That is very true. Valid take there.
So
I
I'm going to
mean,
take
we'll
Miami on this one for sure.
we'll see. It could go either way. I think I'm gonna go with Buffalo in this one. I mean, that's a game of the week
Mhm.
contender
It's
right
at
there.
it's at noon too. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll wake up at 11:30 and watch this. Like, come on.
Yeah.
All right, battle of the unwinnables. You think you guys get this dub here? Do the Vikings beat the Carolina Panthers this week to get their first dub of the season?
Okay, so I'm gonna be very realistic here. The Vikings going into Carolina. I'm gonna be at that game. So for the sake of myself, they better win. So I've got the Vikings winning this one by like 2 or 3 scores. This is the game they have 0 turnovers. They play a clean football game. They've got 9 turnovers in 3 weeks. 9. So you cannot win ball games that way. I think the O line will play better with the right guard addition of Dalton Reisner, or Risner, however you say his last name. But I think this will be a game where they finally wake up and they win. I'll say like 31-14.
Okay, I'm also gonna take Minnesota for this one. I need you guys to win. Like, I mean, they're not really of a competition in my division, but I would really appreciate anyone in our division losing. So,
Oh yeah,
because if they lose more, it's a lot harder for my Bucks to finish last.
hey,
So,
there you go.
I'm gonna take Minnesota by. I'm gonna take them 28-14.
Hmm.
I think Kirk balls out to Jetta. I think Jetta will have 2 touchdowns and probably another 150 yards. So
Hey,
that's my thoughts on it. Now,
oh yeah,
JT, should be your game of the week. There's no
oh
better
yeah.
game this week besides this. Denver at Chicago.
Hey, that's the best matchup we'll get all year, everybody. The game of the century. So realistically, I'm looking at this like which lesser of trash is gonna win. So that's a tough one. It's at Chicago. I think Denver's defense gets right. I think I don't know, man. I'm gonna go ahead and say the Broncos win this one. I think that Russell Wilson has a good game against that Chicago defense. Um, did you know that both of them are on the bottom of the league in rushing defense?
Wouldn't surprise me.
So, I mean, either one of those running backs for either team could have a really good game. But
Justin Fields just taking off.
exactly, I think this is the game that the Broncos finally win after getting embarrassed last week. So,
I'm going to take Denver as well. I think Denver was the worst, the worst thing I've ever seen happen in an NFL game. I've seen a lot of terrible
yeah,
things happen.
I think they'll have a fire lit under their belly after this for sure.
If not, I don't know if Russell Wilson will make it through the year. Like, the worst part is it's not even him. Like, if you look at his stats and Tua's stats in the first half are like basically the same. They Russell Wilson's not the issue there. That defense couldn't do anything. To be a
Crazy,
member of that defense right now would be an embarrassment.
ridiculous.
You have Pat. You have arguably the best corner in all of football in that defense.
That's the truth. It's pretty ridiculous. I mean, that's you should not be giving up that amount of points with the amount of. I mean, they've got some solid players on defense.
They do.
I mean, Patrick Surtain and them boys. I mean, they shouldn't be allowing that much points.
No,
But
it was embarrassing. All right, we'll move on to the next game of the week. JT,
yeah.
Baltimore at Cleveland.
Ooh, individual game. I like that. It's at Cleveland. Ooh. Okay, so my MVP prediction, Lamar Jackson here. I think he has a middle of the pack game. I don't think he has a great game. That Cleveland defense has been balling this year. They've been looking really good. Um, I don't think it's going to be a high scoring. It's going to be a low scoring game. I think it's going to be like 13-10 type game. With that being said, I think Justin Tucker walks off the field with hitting like a 50-yard bomb for the win. I've got the Ravens at Cleveland beating them.
I've got Cleveland.
Ooh,
I think Cleveland's look solid. The
they do.
defense,
They do.
especially. I think for me, like Deshaun Watson even looked kind of good last week. I mean, they played the Titans, so it's not like a huge victory to be able to say, yeah, I played really well against the Titans. But
Yeah.
I would say he did look good. He
I
did,
mean, the
like
running game looked impressive too.
Ford is, bro. I did not expect Ford to come in here and do what he did. Like, he's really impressed me. It's like Nick Chubb is in my opinion, the best running back in all football. And Ford is carrying on his back right now, like trying to be as good as Chubb as he can, and it's
Oh, yeah,
fantastic.
he's looking solid for sure.
I love it. I'm going with Cleveland though. I just think they look better. And
I mean, I
all the
feel it.
injuries for Baltimore.
Yeah.
Baltimore has 20 injuries right now.
They get plagued by the injury bugs so bad every year. It's ridiculous. But I've got Baltimore squeezing this one out barely. I
Now
think it could go either way.
the next game could be very strange. You got Pittsburgh at Houston.
Ooh. Okay, so I've got mixed feelings about this because the Texans played really well last week against the Jags. CJ Stroud's looking like him. He's yet to throw a pick. I mean, he's got that Tank Dell connection already on fire. I mean, them two, they're looking like a dynamic duo. With that being said, I think this is a snapback to reality for the Texans for at least this week. I think the Steelers beat them by at least a touchdown or two. I'd say like 28 to 14 or 17, around that nature. I've got the Steelers in this one.
I'm gonna take Houston.
Ooh, a little
I know that's
spicy upset.
crazy. I know that's
Is that
crazy.
your lock of the week?
Yeah, I'm just like I think Houston looked really good last week against Jacksonville. I know Houston always plays Jacksonville very tight, and I understand that. But the fact that Pittsburgh's offense is so hit or miss, and
Very.
Houston, I don't think the Texans' defense is that bad. I don't think they're great, but I think they're not. I don't think they're that bad. And that linebacker they got's pretty good.
Will
But
Anderson? Yeah,
I'm gonna go
he's
with
a stud.
21-14 Houston victory. I
Okay,
just think
okay.
it's going to happen. I don't know. It's just something in the air is telling me pick Houston on this.
Mm.
We got LA at Indy, the Rams. I mean,
Ooh. Okay,
Gardner
so
Minshew, the QB for the Colts right now. Also,
yeah, Richardson still in the concussion protocol. Might be playing this week if he passes it, but we'll see. Um, that could be a close game, but it's gonna be at Indianapolis. I feel like the Rams could keep it close. Um, that's gonna be a really, really close game. I'm gonna say the Colts take that one. I think the reasoning behind it, I think that Puka Noku, or however you pronounce his
Puka
name,
Nuka.
I don't think he's going to have a great game. The first 2 weeks of the season, he'd been popping off. I think that Kenny Moore and the rest of that Colts defense kind of stifle everyone. Um, the running game for the Rams last week was non-existent. I think that's a repeat of this week because the Colts front seven's been playing solid. So give me the Colts at home.
Colts at home. I'm going to take the Rams. They just lost to the Bengals. I think the Rams actually look pretty good this year, even if without Puka. I do know that Cooper Cup is coming back week 5. Having Puka and Cooper Cup, I think it'll be a real dangerous team. Matt Stafford is not a QB to be slept on. I think Matt Stafford is a Super Bowl winning QB. He was fantastic in Detroit, but
Yeah.
he just couldn't get anything done there. I'm going with the Rams. I think the Rams. I did not think the Rams would be a good team this year, but they have shocked me every week. That they beat the Seahawks week 1, shocking. Did not expect it. Then they play a real close game against the 49ers. Like I said, I'm like, watch out for this game. I think it's gonna be closer than most people think. And then and then they lose to the Bengals. That was kind of hard, but they did make it. They took advantage of when Aaron Donald was not on the field.
Yeah,
So it
that's
makes sense for them to take advantage of that. Get
for
a little
sure.
more time to sit back and throw. So,
Oh yeah.
but I'm taking the Rams on this one. I think
Okay.
I just don't see Indy. I don't think Indy's that good. I think they're sneaky good, but I think the Rams have a better team all around. And
That's
all
a good
right,
answer.
divisional game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel to New Orleans to take on the Saints. What's your thoughts on this, JT?
Ooh, man. This could be a very close game. This might be the closest game of the week. I think since Derek Carr is probably not going to be playing, he's got the AC shoulder sprain. Jameis Winston in there against his former team. I think he has a decent game, but because of Carr not being the starter, I think the Tampa Bay Bucks defense overwhelmed Jameis. Get at least one interception off of him. So I'm gonna take the Bucks in this one. That's gonna be a close game. I'm gonna say 21 to 17.
21. All right, I liked it. I'm gonna take the Bucks as well. I think we do squeeze this one out, even though it's in New Orleans. Jameis doesn't play super great against us, so I'm not really worried about him. I do think that we are suffering at the cornerback position at the moment. We have two rookies in to replace Jamal Dean and Davis. That's going to hurt us a little bit,
Got
but
to worry about Chris Olave out there at wide receiver, man.
that's true. That's true. We do have to worry
About
about Chris Olave,
That's
but
about the only thing you got to worry about though.
I'm not worried about
The
the run.
Titans is
All they're going to do is throw the ball.
yeah.
Jamal Williams still got that little hammy injury, and Alvin
Mhm.
Kamara is still suspended.
No, he's coming back.
He's
This
coming
is
back.
first.
Oh, he's gonna be
Yeah.
rusty. He's gonna be so rusty. Guarantee it. I don't think he'll have over 75 yards
We'll see. Yeah,
rushing at
I
least.
mean that Bucks front seven is solid. So
Yeah,
I don't think
Levante David, Shaq Barrett, Devin White.
I don't think he'll have. He might have around 75. He won't break 100. He won't break 100.
I think our defense. I think like I said, Chris Olave might have 100 yards. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I still think we get the dub on this one.
Oh,
I think it'll be 21-10. It's gonna be more of that, but that's just me. I may be wrong. We might lose this game, but that's my guess on this. I hate this team.
All right,
But
next week, next game. Let's see. We've got Washington Commanders at the Eagles. Ooh,
I'm gonna
which
take
game?
Philly.
All right, so this is gonna be tough because hear me out. Hear me out. You said you're probably gonna go with Eagles, but the Eagles have been playing teams so close to the point where they should be having these huge leads if they're supposedly the great team in the NFC. Um, I feel like they're beating themselves up with in the secondary. They're not as good as they used to be. And if you bracket Jalen down the field, he's not as great as some other quarterbacks in the league. You can force interceptions against him. This Washington Commanders defense, the front seven, they can get pressure. So it's going to come down to the Washington offense and if they can even score against this defense. But mark my words, this is going to be my upset lock. The Commanders are going to go into Philly and win. It's going to be 24-21.
I don't know about that. Like I will agree with you. I don't think Philly's as good as they were last year. I think that
Next game, we've got Bengals at Titans. This is my lock of the week. Heard it here first. Bengals are winning this game by 20 plus points. Book it right now. Bengals at Titans. Joe Burrow is going to have like 3 touchdowns on 400 yards.
I don't know.
That Titans secondary ain't looking good, though. Are you going
Hold
to pick
on.
the Titans?
Hold on. I think since he wins the game, I think it'll be closer than we think. And I don't know. I think the Titans are trash. I don't. Since he has to win a game, if they blow the Titans out here, you have to remember that's great. They blew out the Titans, like you just said. They have to impress me. Like they look like crap the first 2 weeks.
I mean,
They
if you
finally
watch
get something going on
the
Monday.
Rams game, the offensive line for the Rams looked like middle schoolers. They could not contain the pass rush of Cincinnati, and the Titans' offensive line is worse than the Rams. So I feel like they're going to get so much pressure on Tannehill on the defensive line. It's crazy. Trey Hendrickson is going to have a day.
They got to impress me before I can be like, this team is Super Bowl contender. Because right now they're not. Not in my opinion.
It's way too early to tell. I mean, there's tons of AFC teams that could make the Super Bowl.
You think anyone in the AFC South makes the Super Bowl?
No, not at all.
You think
That's not
anyone
true.
in the AFC North makes the Super Bowl this year?
Yeah, the Bengals could possibly if they go on a run.
Anyone else in that division you think makes the Super Bowl this year?
No,
That's
I don't
one
think
team.
no. I mean, I think one or two other teams can make the playoffs, but I don't think they'll make a run for the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. AFC. You look at the AFC. So the AFC South, there's 4 teams. We don't think any of them are going to the Super Bowl. That division's trash. AFC North, we got the Bengals. They're the only team in that division we think are Super Bowl contenders.
Actually, I'll take that back. I say if the Jaguars get on track, they've looked pretty bad. But if they kick it back to where they did last year in the playoffs, if they run that back, I mean, my Super Bowl prediction before the season was Jags Cowboys. So I could see the Jags making a run to the Super Bowl. So yeah, I'll say Jaguars.
I don't know. I don't think any team like Raiders. No, Broncos. No, I have to count
Chiefs.
both. Chiefs are all. You won Super Bowl last year. I'm gonna put you in as a Super Bowl contender for the following
Yeah.
year. Easy. So I think they have a shot. I don't think the Chargers have a shot. I just don't think they have what they need for that. So like I
I mean,
don't
the
think
AFC East, you could have two teams. You could have Buffalo, Miami. I
I
don't
think
think the Jets will anymore.
I don't think Jets or New England make it Super Bowl, but those other two teams, yeah, I could throw them in like
So there's like 5 or 6 teams.
something. But it's all the teams
But
we think about every year.
well, not Miami.
Now Miami's a little different, but
Yeah. But next game, Raiders at Chargers. I'm gonna give it to the Chargers because it's at home. I think that they kind of gain momentum here with a much needed victory versus Minnesota. Getting Austin Eckler back will be huge. I think that their run game will be a lot better this week. Give me the Chargers at home.
I'm gonna take the Chargers as well. I think the Chargers are just a better team. I'm not impressed. I've not been impressed with the Raiders' defense, anyways. So, especially if you like Kenny Pickett, who's played like trash all year, score all over you. I'm gonna take the Chargers on this.
Yeah. Patriots at Cowboys. I think this will be a close game, actually. I think Bill Belichick's defense is going to have answers for that Dallas offense. You've got to think about it. There's two names in the building that know a lot about Dallas: Ezekiel Elliott and Will Greer, both on the offensive side for the Patriots. So they're going to have a lot of inside information of what Dallas likes to run. Um, Regardless, you're going to have to perform on the field. But I think Dallas wins this in a close game. I'm going to say like 27-24.
27-24. I'm gonna take Dallas as well. I think it will be close. I think it'll be a one-score game.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dallas's defense is really good, but I think the Patriots is also really good. Christian
Yeah,
Gonzalez has been a lockdown corner all
he's
year.
locked down for sure.
So I like Dallas on this one. The week after that, we've got the Arizona Cardinals taking on the San Francisco 49ers on 3:25.
Blowout of the week. I've got the Niners winning this 35-7.
I think the Cardinals will really need to enjoy that win from last week because I don't know when the next time they get one is. Because I think San Fran blows them out of the water. They're at home. That offense has just looked explosive. All right, now we move on to our last Sunday night game, or the only Sunday night game, really. We got the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the New York Jets at home. What do you think, JT?
Jets defense, I think, will have a bounce back week, but I don't think they'll be able to contain Patty and Travis Kelce. Give me the Chiefs by 2 scores. I'll say 28-14.
I'll take the same on that. I think it's fair. And then our Monday night game, we've got the Seattle Seahawks taking on the New York Giants at home.
Giants have been very disappointing to start the year. They've got a tough next few games without Saquon, so give me the Seattle Seahawks. I'm gonna take them. I'll say 21-10.
I'm gonna take the Seahawks as well. I'm gonna take a 35-10 score.
That's what's up.
I think Seattle
Yeah,
just looks
I
good.
don't think the Giants really stand a chance this week.
Seattle's got a sneaky defense that a lot of people don't pay attention to, and the Giants aren't. They don't have a good offensive line. That's killing them right now. That offensive line is just absolute trash. So I don't know what else to tell you. That you got to get that line fixed, Giants. Come on.
Well,
But
that is the last of our picks of week 4. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Leave a like down below, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow the TikTok, same handle, Thunder Sports Pod. It's been your boy JT and
the stash, baby. We out.